If you hold Ripple's XRP, XLM, or even HBAR in this video, we have some powerful news to share with you about Ripple's involvement with central banks around the world, unveiling the connections between BlackRock and Ripple, a document that the World Economic Forum just published with over 98% of the global economy's central banks researching, piloting, and deploying central banking digital currencies. The blockchain companies in this document that are working directly with the central banks to prepare for the complete overhaul and shift of the entire financial system over the next 12 months. On top of that, the Federal Reserve's Payment Task Force, what BlackRock CEO Larry Fink has to say about their plans for the future, and their $454 trillion power move that is set to not only catapult Ripple as a company over the next decade, but the entire altcoin market, and exactly what you need to do to prepare now so you can make the most amount of money possible, so you don't miss out on what's to come next. So if you're feeling bullish, comment 777. If you're feeling blessed, comment 777. And if you're going to become the first millionaire in your family tree, confirm it by tapping the subscribe button. Let's run it. All right, bull runners, welcome back to the channel. So let's dive right in. Let's talk about what's happening with Ripple, with XRP, and get into the hidden ties with BlackRock and everything that you need to know in this video. So Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse is confirming that Ripple is working with 10 governments around the world on CBDCs. Now, this isn't new news, but this is something that a lot of people don't understand, and the reason why XRP is going to play a role into all of this, we're going to get into towards the end of this video, which is a complete game changer for the XRP ledger. But listen to this.
That is, Ripple has invested and is working with about 10 different governments around the world to do central bank digital currencies. I mean, a central bank digital currency is a stablecoin. It's issued by the government.
Now, in 2021, Ripple announced a private ledger for CBDCs. And at the time, Ripple said that XRP could be leveraged as a neutral bridge asset for frictionless value movement between CBDCs and other currencies. Now, the biggest concern that people have is Ripple also built its private ledger and the CBDC platform on the XRP ledger. And the private ledger is based on the XRP ledger, but does not require XRP to operate. A Ripple spokesperson told Blockworks in an email a while back, and central banks using the CBDC platform do not use or interact with XRP. So the biggest question that we're going to get into towards the end of this video is, how does this affect the price of XRP if they don't need XRP to issue their central banking digital currencies or interact with it? Well, that's where we get into unraveling the connections between BlackRock, Ripple, and XRP, because the World Economic Forum published a new report on the modernization of financial markets, in which Ripple and Stellar's XLM have been mentioned for those CBDCs, which plan to process CBDCs from now on 5 years at most until 2030. In 6 years, we will have a great influx of CBDCs within the Stellar blockchain with the help of XLM and Ripple with the XRP token. And these two giant companies will be in charge of modernizing the financial markets, creating a necessary infrastructure for the digital currencies of the wholesale central banks. As you guys already know, in previous videos, I talked about Europe already preparing to launch the digital euro. In addition, the Bank of England is working with Ripple, as does the European Central Bank. And if we go to the World Economic Forum's official website, where it says modernizing financial markets with wholesale central bank digital currencies, we download the PDF and we pull it up right here. We can simply do a Command F function on this, and we can type in Ripple, and we'll see that it was mentioned twice right here within the contributions section, alongside other prominent figures in the space from the World Economic Forum, Hong Kong Monetary Authority, head of the Bank of International Settlements Innovation Hub in Hong Kong, the Central Bank of the UAE, the Saudi Arabian Central Bank, Bank de France, Bank of Thailand, Bank of Georgia, the World Bank, Bank of England, SWIFT, Citibank, pretty much all the major powerhouses and banks around the world. And right here we can see James Wallace, Vice President at RippleX for central bank engagements in CBDCs. And if we type in Stellar, we can see Leslie Chavkin, Head and Policy of Stellar Development Foundation. And also if we type Hedera for HBAR, we can see Brett McDowell, the Chair and President of the Hedera Hashgraph Association, alongside everyone else. Now, I didn't see any other blockchain representative in this space other than these massive CEOs of these central banks and big companies like MasterCard, the International Monetary Fund, head of asset digital treasuries, the list goes on. So it's obviously a fact at this point. I mean, the CEO of Ripple just confirmed all this, and these documents prove it. It's not a conspiracy theory anymore. So we need to get into the connection of BlackRock and Ripple, and then get into XRP in a little bit, because the most obvious connection between Ripple and BlackRock, we could say, is that the Bank of America effectively, owns and controls BlackRock or vice versa, and they are also partners of Ripple with the alliance of Bank of America. This was announced back in 2016 by the company, but was made official in 2020. And Bank of America, which is the second largest bank in terms of asset management in the United States, and has a great influence within BlackRock. So they have a triangular relationship between, Ripple, Bank of America, BlackRock. And another obvious connection is Robert Mitchnick, the current head of cryptocurrency investments at BlackRock. He's a former Ripple employee. Remember that he is the architect of the Bitcoin ETF and the paradigm shift regarding cryptocurrencies by him. Giant investment funds that, taught with Vanguard, control the world financial scene. And a less obvious connection turns out to be that Arcax, the London-based institutional digital securities exchange that recently strategically partnered with the Hedera Hashgraph network to tokenize BlackRock investment funds that signed off on this, uses R3's Corda's expertise platform for its distributed ledger technology infrastructure. So digital exchange that has been related to Ripple for years, R3 Corda directly and indirectly, including the strong rumors that the acquisition of R3 by the Ripple company, and that there are numerous indicators that it uses XRP for payment settlement. So crypto Twitter erupted saying that they don't need XRP, and sure, there is a part of it that doesn't, but the vast majority of their business model will use XRP. And it's also worth highlighting in the figure of the person named Craig Phillips, who held a position in BlackRock from 2008 to 2016. And this says in January of 2017, he became part of the United States Department of the Treasury, leaving his position in the year 2019 to go where? To occupy a position on the board of directors of Ripple. Was all after having a professional career over at BlackRock. So Ripple is assembling the Avengers, so to speak, from these central banks, from these government institutions, and from these big companies. And Ripple is the only distributed ledger technology company on the U.S. Federal Reserve Faster Payment Task Force. And JP Morgan of Chase Bank, the largest bank in the world, is a representative on the committee with them. And other members of this task force that are not on the steering committee include representatives from Goldman Sachs, IBM, Barclays, Citibank, BNY Mellon, Morgan Stanley, Visa, MasterCard, Verizon, NASA, the IRS, and the FDIC, just to name a few of the 300 plus organizations participating. And the Federal Reserve is planning to release proposals for real-time payment systems around mid-year. Now, they came out with FedNow, but that's still in the infancy stage. So anytime now, we should see massive reports start dropping about what they're planning here, on top of what the CEO of BlackRock, Larry Fink, is going to say. Now, obviously, they're all on NDAs. They can't talk about this right now, but listen to this.
The IMF and the World Bank were created 80 years ago when banks, not markets, financed most things. Today, the financial world is flipped. The capital markets are the biggest source of private sector financing, and unlocking that money requires a different approach than the bank balance sheet model of yesterday. There's still a lot of work to be done, but reform over the past 8 months have resulted in billions of dollars of new dollars for the developing countries' infrastructure. That's what you saw last week with the announcement of the Investor Coalition. BlackRock, GIP, KKR, and other major firms will deploy $25 billion in Asia's emerging economies. In a way, it's an Indo-Pacific counterpoint to Italy's Mattei plan, which is helping African economies grow, and that's important. Every country in the world needs a growth strategy. But if I could convey one more important message today, it would be the countries that need growth most right now are not just emerging economies. Great economic powers, including the G7, are in fact on the list and need growth going forward. All of us are staring down a growth dilemma. Whether we solve it or not, it's a significant economic fork in the road for our countries. Today, the G7 average debt to GDP is 129%. No matter how much we tax, how much we cut or reduce that debt, it will not be enough. The only way we can achieve this future of growth is by truly growing out of it. But just growth is becoming more important because we need to be focusing on our fiscal health. It is also becoming much more difficult to achieve. Within 25 years, most of the G7 countries will be on demographic downslope. Working age population will decline. The ceiling on growth will get lower and lower. This is why building new infrastructure is critical, especially through public-private partnerships.
And these public and private partnerships are happening right now in the blockchain space. They've been happening over the past few years, privately behind the scenes too. And when you see videos pop out like this with Brad Garlinghouse, I've played this many times, but on the IMF on holding crypto assets, watch their body language here.
You want to take one? Go for it. The first one's for you. IMF. Do you see IMF holding crypto assets in the future? I did not put that up there.
Remember, I'm from the legal department. I'm supposed to be very conservative about these things. I don't want to go into great details about
Maybe I should take what the IMF is going to do.
Obviously, because he's from the legal department, they're on non-disclosure agreements. They can't talk about it. But I'm no body language specialist here. If you guys know one, tag them in the comments below, share this video with them. It's very clear what's going on. The Texas Stock Exchange has successfully secured funding at $120 million backed by BlackRock and Citadel to launch a fully digital stock exchange, and it is expected to be the most well-capitalized and liquid exchange in the US. We're moving into a new world of tokenized assets on the blockchain. Now, being able to move assets between different blockchains isn't a huge advantage yet, and this is due to the relatively modest market capitalization of cryptocurrencies, which constitute the essence of digital assets, approximately 1.45 trillion as of November 25th of 2023, and currently the market capitalization in this industry is 2.42 trillion and growing. However, when real-world assets become more integrated into blockchain, the narrative is going to completely change and grow. And according to Credit Suisse, the anticipated total global wealth in 2023 is approximately $454.4 trillion. So this staggering amount represents an unprecedented potential influx of funds into the digital asset industry. So the power move that BlackRock is making is being able to tokenize the vast majority of, like real estate, stocks, of bonds, of precious metals, of virtually everything on the blockchain to be able to absorb that capital. Now, if we look on the overview of holdings in Credit Suisse in terms of shares and purchase rights, look at who the number one company is right here. BlackRock. As of June 3rd, the number of shares in millions, they hold 112 million shares. Look at the Saudi Arabian National Bank, Qatar Holdings, and then Alliant Group. I don't think BlackRock's number one, but they're right up there on the list. But the Saudi National Bank is beating them. And as you guys know, over in Saudi Arabia, in the Middle East, Ripple is dominating that sector. Now in the United States, what's happening? Well, JP Morgan of Chase, the largest bank in the world and the United States, in their presentation, they acknowledged Ripple as a technology disruptor right here. And blockchain crypto processing is solving interoperability and data challenges across geographies. Why would they put Ripple right here above Bitcoin in the center of this document right here and put benefits as secure, inexpensive, fast transfers in any currency right here? That's because Ripple's technology is planned to be used to facilitate transfer for any currencies, CBDCs, fiat currencies, digital currencies, cryptocurrencies, and stablecoins. So they provide one example of blockchain processing right here where the sender provides payment details and is sending FI connects to Ripple to get and accept the FX rate. Foreign exchange markets, guys, multi-trillion-dollar a day market in the foreign exchange market. So it says Ripple, USD, market maker, over to Euro, receiver DDA, sender DDA. The receiver gets payment notification and processes payment. A market maker holds the both the sender and the receiver's currencies and facilitates the transaction. So some of this stuff is over my head because I'm not a developer, but Ripple has their automated market maker. So they've been planning this for years, and we're going to start to see this unravel over the next 12 months before the end of this year. And by 2025, we're going to be in full force and full swing. Now, we need to look for confluence on the chart because with Ripple's lawsuit wrapping up this summer and Ripple agreeing to pay whatever amount that the judge tells them to pay, Ripple wants to pay $10 million. The SEC lowered their $2 billion settlement down to $100 million. So they're going to meet somewhere in the middle. And so it's most likely going to be closer to Ripple's target of $10 million, which is pennies compared to the $200 million that they had to spend over the past few years to fight the SEC. And Ripple ultimately won anyways. And so we're going to see XRP, in my opinion. Again, not financial advice. These videos are purely for education and informational purposes only. Crypto entails massive risk. You could lose all of your money. So by watching this video, liking and commenting below, you're confirming that you're okay with that risk. You're okay with getting wrecked, and you're a full-grown adult. You can put your big pants on here investing, all right? So with that out the way, let's look at the charts and let's look for confluence between the fundamental news, what I just talked about, now the technical analysis. Because if we look on the left-hand side of the screen at the crypto total market cap excluding Bitcoin, which is every single altcoin in the world, aggregated on TradingView. And then we look at on the right-hand side of the screen with XRP, if we were to measure from the all-time high of the altcoin market back in January of 2018 until the altcoin market really started to break out, it took roughly 1,050 days. And so we see this bear market kick in for XRP, for the entire market. We see this downtrend on the right-hand side of the screen, this descending resistance right here that XRP struggled to break. It broke above it on the 27th of July and then came back down to back test and hovered at it while the altcoin market was breaking out as well too. Now, after 1,050 days is when Ripple just skyrocketed from 25 cents upwards of nothing too crazy, but about 80 cents, pretty quick gain in a matter of a week or two. And then the altcoin market was breaking out as well too. Now, at that time, the SEC filed the lawsuit. Why did that happen right when the altcoin market was breaking out? This was very, very strategic, guys, to suppress XRP during that entire bull run. So XRP's price dropped down to 17 cents while the altcoin market was, teetering around $200 to $250 billion. Once the altcoin market really started to break out was on the 28th of December after, that 1,050 day period. Then it went absolutely parabolic. Now, XRP did do well. So if you bought XRP when that lawsuit was filed, you always want to buy when there's the most amount of fear and most amount of negativity in the markets. That's the key there, because your emotions are going to trick you. They're going to play games on you. Your emotions are going to tell you it's bad. Get out now. It's terrible. XRP's at 17 cents. There's the lawsuit against it. Well, if you would have bought an XRP at 17 cents and held it that whole bull run, if you would have put in $10,000 into XRP as an example, purpose only, towards April of 2021, just 100 days later, a little over 3 months, you would have had over $100,000 in XRP. Now, that's obviously if you sold the top, but there's no guarantee that you're going to catch the top. I'll just explain in videos about how you time these markets based on levels and key indicators here. But we look at the RSI. We were in an uptrend, since the bear market bottom was in. Once we saw this breakout period, the RSI erupted above 70 and went upwards of 96 on that massive breakout. Now, when we compare these charts together now in the macro from where we are and we were to measure, a lot of people are impatient. They say XRP is going to miss this bull run when we're not quite yet to that 1,050 day period compared to the last bull run. See, if we were to measure from the all-time high from November 8th of 2021 on the left-hand side of the screen, and we were to measure out how far we are into this market cycle, we're only roughly 952 days as of June 17th. If you're watching this video, I'm recording this on June 16th, so by tomorrow, and so 952 days, that's it. Well, if we were to measure 1,050 days from the all-time high, just like we did during the last bull run when XRP, broke from 20 cents to 80 something cents and then dropped because of the lawsuit, well, that would put us by September 23rd of the end of this year. So we're in June. We have June, July, August, September. So we still have 4 months until we hit that 1,050 day period. Now, obviously, these markets don't move on exact time frames, but they're pretty close within sometimes a few days, a few weeks, or even 1 to 3 months. As you guys know, we're in the Bitcoin halving year. So generally speaking, 3 to 12 months after Bitcoin's halving, Bitcoin goes parabolic. And then when we see the rotation of capital come out of Bitcoin, it flows into altcoins. Then that's when Bitcoin's dominance drop. That's when the altcoin market goes crazy. And if we look at the facts, that's when XRP absolutely erupts. Last bull run, a 10x, still not bad, guys. Think about it. They were going through suppression after the lawsuit, and they still did a 10x. Imagine what XRP is going to do with trillions. Think about this. Trillions of dollars from the real world asset industry, BlackRock, Fidelity, Citadel, you got Van Eck, you got ARK Invest, you have all these institutions that have got their Bitcoin spot ETF approved. And now Larry Fink is talking about getting other ETFs approved. Brad Garlinghouse is saying they plan on having an XRP ETF by 2025. So if we see that happen, no guarantees there, but what is that going to do to the price of XRP, guys? It's going to absolutely cause it to explode. And so we're 952 days in right now. And if you look on the right-hand side of the screen, we're still in this downtrend. You can see this descending resistance right here that XRP is struggling to break out from. So once it clears this descending resistance, over the next 3 to 4 months, it's going to hang out here. I'm not expecting it to do too much until later summer, Q4 of 2024, potentially even 2025. But when we see XRP clear this descending resistance, I would expect there to be a massive amount of surge of volume in the markets for XRP, very similar to what happened from November until October of 2021 based on the global liquidity, based on Bitcoin's 4-year market cycle theory, based on more institutions diving into the market for their ETFs. And when we look at the RSI right now, we're below 50 right here. So as we stay in this downtrend on the RSI, at some point something's going to break and this RSI is going to start trending upwards with global liquidity. We're going to see the altcoin market as well too on the left-hand side of the screen start to break out as well, because we're only at $1 trillion. You can see the all-time high was at $1.7 trillion. So if the Federal Reserve is going to continue to print money, if they're going to continue to hit the cap on their debt ceiling, and then Janet Yellen is going to yell over to Congress or the Treasury or whoever's responsible for raising the debt ceiling over there and tell them we need to raise the debt ceiling, otherwise it's going to be catastrophic. Oh no, it's going to be catastrophic. We need to raise the debt ceiling. What are they going to do? They're going to raise the freaking debt ceiling, dude. They've done it every single time. There hasn't been one time where they haven't raised the debt ceiling. So they can play this carnival game as long as they want because they created the game of infinite money printing. And as long as the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell's money printer goes burr, the crypto market goes burr as well too and makes money. But it moves in cycles. So you got to be patient here because 952 days in, we have 1,050 days until we really saw XRP break out. Now, there will be selling pressure on the way up. You have to prepare for that. And the best way to make money during the bull run is to be able to diversify into the strongest narratives that are going to see the most appreciation based on what's hot for this bull run specifically. Because what's hot for this bull run is different than what was hot for the 2021 bull run. What was hot in that 2021 bull run was different than what was hot during the 2017 bull run as trends change over the future. So if you're ready to become the first millionaire in your family tree with crypto and you want to get early access to our underground guidebook to become a crypto millionaire when it's released, then all you need to do right now is go to bullrunners.com and you're going to get exclusive early access to alerts on explosive altcoins with timely notifications about high potential projects before they hit the mainstream market. You're also going to get access to daily market analysis videos where you can watch daily videos like this to stay up to date on the latest trends and updates in the cryptocurrency market. And you're also going to receive pro trading strategies and tools for you to access proven trading tips and institutional grade indicators to refine your trading strategy. So don't miss out on the launch of our new underground guidebook called Altcoin Secrets that's going to help you discover the next 100x altcoin. All you need to do to get early access is go to bullrunners.com, click the button on the page, put in your best email address, and you'll be instantly subscribed for the early bird list when it's released. We know you're going to love it.